don't really want to do this video. I can't really be bothered. I can't really be bothered with cricket anymore. What a rubbish sport. Ugh. On with the show. Hello, it's me, Peter, and today I'm talking to you about cricket. Specifically, I'm going to be reviewing the third test of the Ashes 2021 series between Australia and England. Australia have taken a 3-0 lead in the series, hammering England into an innings and 14-run defeat with 2 matches still to play. The Ashes, the historic trophy, the little urn that this series has been played for, shall be staying with Australia once again. 3-0, unsurmountable for Root and the English touring party. Following English cricket over the years makes you a natural pessimist, and I think most of us somewhat expected a defeat in this series, but did anyone see it being this bad? 68 all out is the lowest total England have scored in Australia since World War II, and it's their lowest total in Australia since 1904. England spent more time in quarantine than the 12 days it took to lose the Little Urn. Since 1900, only 5 teams have won by an innings with a lower total than Australia's 267. There is a lot to talk about concerning the future of England in the longer form of the game. There is going to be a massive fallout, naturally, from such a heavy defeat, and debate will rage for plenty of time to come. For this channel now, though, I'm going to stick with just the 2 days and 1 hour that constituted this miserable excuse for a third test. The teams were perhaps as expected. Australia's batting speaks for itself, and Victorian quick Scott Boland was given a debut at the grand age of 32. He was, as David Gower suggested, a specific horse for a very specific course. Captain Cummins was back, Nizar and Richardson unfortunate to miss out. England indeed had Crawley and Bairstow back with the bat as predicted, and Leach and Wood were in with the ball. Burns and Pope were removed from the limelight, and the tail looked a tad longer with Wokes missing. Stuart Broad must wonder what on earth he has to do to get a game for England. England were asked to bat first on what was an admittedly difficult first morning that had been interrupted already by a rain delay. You must feel sorry for Zach Crawley. The last time he played a competitive game for England was in September, and even the finest village cricketer knows that a good time in the net does not mean a good time at the middle. He was pushed in front of a devastating Aussie attack because Rory Burns had previously failed. And with no time in the middle, 0 form to his name, was it any surprise when he scored just 12? Joe Root stepping out at 13 for 2 was perhaps as predictable as it was laughable. Milan did get a good ball before lunch, and Cummins, with 3 wickets that morning, continued to probe England in exactly the right lines and in exactly the right lengths. The 3 wickets that fell after lunch, though, were simply down to poor shots once again. Root made a good 50, was on the cards for his promised Christmas 100, and then wafted necessarily outside his off stump, a la Ollie Pope. Stokes looked like a man that knows England rely on him. He knows that he's England's second best batsman, but also knows that he isn't in form. The 25 he scored, save the massive 6, was scratchy, and the gifted catch to Nathan Lyon was simply poor. The less said about Joss Buttler's dismissal in the last over, the last ball before tea, the better. Is this the last we're going to see of him at test level? He is a fantastic servant of the one-day game, but his form in the long form has plummeted. He looks shot. I'd be tempted to send him home. This series is over. And before he was before the series, he was very open about his concerns regarding the tour, regarding COVID, regarding families visiting Australia. Is it going to do him any favours, subjecting him to possibly 10 more days of meaningless, perhaps humiliating cricket? If he's going to be a part of England's future, let's send him home. Get him away from the spotlight and allow him to have a complete cricket break. I'm not going to discuss the lower order wickets, save that Jonny Bairstow did exactly what Jonny Bairstow does. He got 35 and then got out to an odd shot, albeit trying to up the ante with few partners remaining. What I will say though is that the second day offered promise. Finally, believe it or not, England bowled well, removing the trio of Warner, Labuschagne and Smith for just 55 runs between them was crucial in keeping Australia down to a score below 300. Marcus Harris may have saved his spot as an opener with a spirited 76, but it was finally a day when England's bowlers got on top of the Aussie batsmen. There was finally a bit of fight and a competitive nature about the series. Jimmy was once again exceptional. He gets so much or lack of credit for his figures abroad when he should be celebrated. He took 4 wickets at a quite frankly ridiculous economy of 1.43. England trailed by only 82 runs. There was the faintest hint, the faintest of belief. This though is when good sides step up, and in the Aussie bowling attack the Aussies have a good side. And once again though, you must feel sorry for Zach Crawley. 1 innings in him and expected to survive an hour of brutal bowling from Cummins, Stark and Boland. Day 2 ended with England at 31 for 4, and knowing that Stokes, Root and Butler and Bairstow would have to get not just a few runs the next day, but big runs. You know what happens next. Instead, England got 68. They couldn't even make Australia bat again. They lost by an innings and 24 runs. 14 runs. Error on the script there. Scott Boland, as well as he did bowl, completed almost impossible figures of 6 wickets for 7 runs in 4 overs. Only one other bowler in Test history has conceded fewer runs whilst claiming 6 wickets. Impossible figures. The hour of play that consisted for day 3 was the lowest of many, many low points. Not just in this series, not just in this year. English Test cricket has been average at best, arguably from before the home Ashes series in 2019. Day 3 wasn't just depressing, it was embarrassing. It was humiliating. In some circles of Aussie support, it wasn't even that fun. They take pride in their pom bashing. But this wasn't bashing. Australians wanted to see an English fight back just as much as we wanted to see English fight backs. It's no fun being a bully, and at times Australia were unintentionally just that. Australia are just a good, well-organised team, ripping apart a disjointed, disorganised mess. I think I'm not the only England fan that still feels slightly shell-shocked, disbelieving of what I saw. I also think I share my thoughts with most of the England camp. Joe Root was absolutely done. And honestly, where do England go from here? I don't mean the future of Test cricket. Like I said, that is a conversation for another video. I mean, where do England go for the next 2 games? I honestly don't think I know. I honestly think I'm losing the will to care. No England Lions means there's no fresh blood to bring into the team at all. And we can't go completely clean slate for Sydney because this squad is flush with players that have suffered greatly in 2021 and before. Having said that, we went for change in Melbourne and it made no difference. I was wary about predicting 5-0 Australia, but now I'm starting to see no other alternative. At least And this is hoping that COVID doesn't cancel any of the games remaining. I really hope so. England need to play all 5 games. Even still, I can't see them winning one of them. Australia is a set team capable of bringing in a wide variety of bowling options. Boland from this game, Richardson from before, prime examples of this. They are led really well, not just by their captain, but also by a group of senior players that step up to the occasion when needed. England, meanwhile, are completely shot for confidence. They now have the horror of having to play 2 games that don't matter against a fired up opposition and increasingly vocal home crowd that will continue to bay for blood. Who can blame them for wanting to get on a plane and just call this series now? Even if a batsman pulls out a performance, even if a bowler gets wickets, even if they win one of the last 2 games, one thing will be immediately asked of them. Why couldn't you do it when it mattered? And on another bright note, that's all from me today. Thank you for sticking out with this video once again. Please go do the liking, subscribing, sharing and commenting, because it will ease my cricketing woes, as you know that any interaction with this channel is always greatly appreciated. Until next time, sports fans, England fans, get some rest. Aussie fans, go celebrate. Congratulations and bye.